Good evening. I believe a lot of you have not been able to hear, and hopefully that issue has been resolved now. As we have mentioned, our previous race winner, Speed Red Matt, with that amazing win from Singapore in round 5. But we're here at Spa-Francorchamps and we're on board with Rogue for his first attempt now. Rogue really taking the curves now. Pick the braking point, very important. You can lose a lot of time locking up the inside tyre now. But Rogue is managing to do a 30.24 in the first sector now. What can he do when he comes to the second sector? But another one to look for is 8 Salty Bear, purple sector 1 with a 30.565. Fastest out of anyone through there. Where can Rogue put his car? It's all about the banker lap at this stage, but of course you want to get provisional pole. Now he comes over to the sector 2 line as the yellow flag appears. It's a 44.832. That gets easily beaten by Cam K in the Williams with a 44.89. Lots of purple and green sectors popping up everywhere. This is anyone's pole at the moment. APX Rogue picks a good line. A little bit over the bump now. Doesn't really matter about the exit speed for this corner. Just make it to the line. And you'll put in a 1:43.735. But look out for another driver as Cam K takes P1 with a 1:43.730. So Cam K's putting that, and a Salty Bear pops up with a 1:43.607. Lots of drivers improving. Speed Red Matt will not, as he's invalidated, but I believe he would start a lap now, and he will. In fact, are there any other drivers currently on the lap? Looking at Dax on the medium compound tyre. Driver that is putting in a good time at the moment is Rich. He's done 2 personal bests through sector 1 and 2. Of course, this is his first lap. So where is he going to slot in now on the power? And he will slot into a P2, a 1:43.725. So not bad from him. Another man on the lap though is Dax. Interesting to see where he slots in, being on the medium compound tyres. And rev that engine. Where will he position? He position himself P5, 1:43.850. So the question is, who can deny a Salty Bear from this pole? 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go until the line, until the flag comes out. But Kian puts in a 1:43.118, fastest out of anybody, sectors 2 and 3. So a very good lap, and that banker lap, 5/10 difference, just under 5/10 from P1 to P2. And that is going to be a really good help for Kian. That's it on the side. And okay, he joins us for qualifying. He'll manage to put in the lap. He does need to put in the lap as well. He's been behind in the championship. So he needs to put a lap, and he wants to score as many points as he possibly can. But as the stream had started, unfortunately, due to those technical difficulties, the weather forecast is no rain expected for this entire qualifying. However, with a few clouds popping up into the race, and then eventually rain, light rain expected into the middle of the race with 30 minutes through it. Lots of drivers are on out lap or on a lap. Let's stay with ERT Thomas. Coming out of the first corner now. And take it nice and easy through a Rouge and Radion. And he goes. And that is really smooth now. Interesting to see where does the sector times pop up. What will his sectors be? ERT Thomas does a 30.31 and he's lost it. And Thomas has lost it. And he's managed to keep the car going. But the question is, how much damage has that cost him? But it ruins his lap and ruins the tyres as well. But he's managed to keep the car going. But I'd expect he'd be wanting to bin those tyres now. And that is it for that run. But other drivers that are coming on the lap are ERT Jordan, his teammate. So he's going to want to hope that nothing happens to him like it did there He's got a car ahead of him, passing O'Roos and Radion. He could get a good tow here. Let's see what ERT Jordan's lap time and sector time is. The Williams just ahead, but shouldn't do too much of an issue. We'll get a nice tow now. ERT Jordan's sector 1 time is a 30.621, so another personal best now as he improves, but he could get hampered here from all the dirty air from that Williams, but the Williams moves to the side and lets ERT Jordan ahead. So Jordan taking quite a bit of curb on that corner now. A few drivers have not set their time due to track limits, and ERT Jordan has invalidated as I spoke. Lots of drivers struggling with all the track limits around here. They're pushing to the absolute limit here. ERT Jordan will have to go out again. So Alpine having a little bit of a tough time, losing the rear and invalidating. But lots of our drivers now on out laps. We're looking at Dax. One of our drivers currently sitting in P6 in the Haas. So we've got a yellow flag, sector 2 and sector 1. I think that's just drivers just going ever so slowly to keep their tyres in good shape. The top 6 going back out for another lap on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. But we could look now to Keys, who is on a lap and looks to be on it now. Where can Keys put his lap time? It's a 30.442 in the first sector, and for the second sector it's a 44.876. He has not set a lap time. It's going to be difficult to see where he slots through, but I'm guessing it would be definitely inside the top 10 now. Where can Keys put his lap? Nice and easy now. Pick your braking point. You don't want to leave it too late and lock up the front. Takes it just on the apex now. Takes a bit of curb. Rev those rear tyres. It's not a long straight. You can take a good exit, and it's Keys who puts it into P7 with a 143.893. Well, we've seen other drivers go out now. Let's look at Rogue. What can Rogue do? Rogue currently just coming across the sector 1 time now, and he sets a 30 point, sorry, we've lost data. He's set a 30.23, just improved. Rogue keeps it within track limits. He can easily lose it through there. Take a wide line and swoop in very nicely indeed. Where can Rogue put this car on? He's going to want to hope to improve as he comes out through the chicane. Lots of chicanes around here. What will his sector 2 time be? He's got a purple best in sector 2. That is a very promising sign from Rogue. 44.114, so what can he put in? Can he challenge for pole? This is the time where you want to put your provisional pole and want to put that banker as well. He comes out through the final corners now. On the throttle he goes. Where will he be? And it's pole position with a 143.027 in the Ferrari. As we lost Khan, believe we lost him into turn 5 and 6, as there is a yellow flag through sector 1 and 2. Who else is on the lap? Cam. What can Cam do? Cam currently saying a 30.261 from his previous attempt, but seems to back off now. His revs are very low. Has he backed off? Has he ruined his lap accidentally? Could be. But now Kian is out of the session. That gives drivers a little bit more hope to steal that position from him. Who else is on the lap now? Rich just starting his lap. So very tight inside line through Rouge and Radion. But over the hill he goes, and now it's just a long way till you pick your braking point. You don't want to leave it too late, otherwise you will run off for the next corner. It is a chicane. So sometimes you can be a little bit too greedy, but you just want to pick the right moment. It looks to be really smooth through sector 1 so far. What can he do? He hasn't set a personal best, which is not good, unfortunately. But can he get it back in sector 2 and 3 now? Not taking very wide lines into the corner, but he's managing to keep on it now. Another sector flag pops up as we speak. Lots of cars preparing for their lap. Rich, what can Rich do? Didn't set a personal best, sector 1, so he's going to hope to get a lap in as he comes to the sector 2 line. What is a sector 2 time? It's a 46.130, so it's not improving. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him box, otherwise he will not get enough time to put another lap in from there. But he's still looking to push now. Where can Rich position himself? And he does decide to box. So he will be going out for one final time at the end. Currently looking at Ventino currently sitting in P6 on the soft compound tires. It's at 32.745. No, not a personal best as well. A few drivers struggling to improve. Could be because of track evolution, but he's still on the lap and he's still got this sector and sector 3 to improve now. And has he backed off? Seems like he has. I believe he has backed off. So we'll see Ventino probably pit this lap. The question is, will he have enough time? Looking at the forecast, it's getting very cloudy. So drivers probably a little bit alert from that, but the forecast says no rain for qualifying. So as Ventino enters the pit lane now, what can ERT Jordan do? He's setting a lap, a great lap, at 143.28, moves him up to P3, not too far from P2 from Kian. There's an opportunity to steal that to get alongside Rogue as it stands on the front row. But we see Apex Rogue going on his out lap. What about Ace Saltivet? Ace Saltivet P6 so far, 143.607. I wonder if he's going for another lap or he's rushing to get to the pit lane. It's a very long lap here. You've got to time your qualifying on point. You can't afford to invalidate a lap and do another one, because it will ruin your chances of saying a final lap at the end, especially with track evolution. Ace Saltivet rushing towards the pit lane as we speak now. So of course all eyes are on Rogue, having that provisional pole. He's got that banker lap. He's just around 1/10 safe from Kian, who will not improve, as he crashed a few minutes ago through turn 5, turn 6. A lot of cars coming through turn 5 and 6 as we speak, so a lot of them on their out lap. Hopefully no one impedes any else of the drivers now. What can the drivers do? Lots of drivers not putting a lap time, and Speed Red Matt not managing to put his too. But will it put a lap in now? And he takes pole position with a 142.455. A stellar lap now, but Rogue has got to put something in there if he wants to take that front row in P1. Red Matt moves to the side now. Who else is on a lap now as we speak? Salty Bear. Will he box for a new set of tyres? He won't have enough time. Or will he go for another one and put that extra tyre wear for the race? He's starting his lap now. She's going for another one. As we lose ERT Jordan as well. And Salty Bear moves up in between Kian and Jordan. P4. But he's used a little bit more of the time that he wants. But Red Matt as well with one lap for all tyres. But all eyes are on Rogue, the man who could deny Speed Red Matt from getting pole position. Speed Red Matt taking that win in the previous Grand Prix in Singapore. Rogue absolutely smashing the sector times as he invalidates, as he cuts the curb, and that's his chances of getting pole position completely gone. So as it stands, Speed Red Matt could still be on pole unless a Salty Bear can do anything to steal it. And of course we've got so many other drivers on a lap, and there's a yellow flag sector 1 and 2 and 3, and there's a car off at Radion as Salty Bear goes off, and that's an invalidation immediately. What about Cam K, the leader of the championship? Definitely has potential to improve and steal that front row lockout, even a front row at P1, but rear looks to slide around as he tries to keep the car straight as the DRS zone now. DRS flap wide open. What can Cam K do? 10 seconds left to go in the session. Who can start a lap time? Who can't? Cam K sets a personal best in sector 1, but it's not the best out of anyone, so it's not a purple sector. What can Cam K do? All eyes on him. Potential to steal this front row from either Apex Rogue or even Speed Red Mat now, as he goes off and has invalidated his time. Rear just sliding, having the counter steer for that. Unfortunately, that will not help him. But look at this, Rich, purple sector 2, as he's flying now. Rich seems to have very good pace. Question is now, he's got one more chicane to go. Can he keep it together now? This is a good sign for... And Dax takes P2, 142.566, just a few tenths off, as there's a spinning car. What can Rich do? Rich can do P4, second row for Rich. But what can anyone else do? Cam K invalidated his lap. What about Vintino? He's currently starting in P10, unless he can put a faster lap in now. The question is, would you want to be P11 and not put a lap in, hope someone knocks you up? But everyone has done their lap, so where can he finish? Where will it be? It's only good enough for P10. Speed Red Mat is on pole for the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix of the Podium tier. And this has played excellent to Speed Red Mat after a successful weekend last week at Singapore. Followed by Dax, very close time. P2 with Apex Rogue, P3. And we're just waiting to see ERT Thomas as he starts his lap. Very confusing moment, as ERT's currently started his lap when the timer is completely gone. So hopefully that is just a glitch, unless he does have a lap to go. It's interesting to see what happens here. But ERT Thomas, no lap under his belt, starting P15, unless this glitch allows him to put a lap in, which could be seeming unfair. But he seems to be very calm on the gas, on the throttle. Doesn't seem like he is going to improve, as he has retired. And we will go into the race in a few moments' time. But the man to beat on pole position is Speed Red Mat from that amazing victory in Singapore. Nobody could take that front seat off him. Dax in the Haas P2, just a tenth off him. Apex Rogue and Rich alongside each other on the second row, with Kian P5, with Salty Bear P6. Keeves in P7 with ERT Thomas P8. ERT Jordan P9 with Cam K finishing P10 from a disappointment from that last lap invalidation. Could have seen him jump up a lot more places. Vintino P11, probably the best man to start outside the top 10, getting that free choice of tyres, with NRL Hartley, with his teammate, with NRL Willu P13, with Okeki Kavudi Tech 31 at the back of the grid. So now we enter the race session. There's two different things. You can be fast in quali, but you could be slower in the race, and it's always the race you've got to prioritize. That's the time you get the points. The question is, can Speed Red Mat get away off the line better than his rival alongside him, and can he get away to a point that he can take another win, especially from a slow start to his season? So as we load into the race, questionable tyre strategy now. Few of the top 10, I believe the majority of the top 10 starting on the soft compound tyre. Of course, with one hub racing, it's a mandatory 2-stopper race. So one stop here is easily possible, but I'll have to do 2 stops. So a soft, medium, soft is a potential option for the drivers tonight. So as we head in to the session, all we've got to do is to wait until we can get the formation lap underway. So, as the lights go out now, we begin our formation lap of the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix for the podium tier. Speed mat, red mat, gets away, starts and leads the field. Disappointing though result from Kian though. Very sad result from him from the last Grand Prix, of course. He had a very tough way to finish that race off, but of course it's not going to be the best situation for him starting P5. But he's definitely got a chance to fight for a podium and even a win, so he is definitely on the lookout. So as we wait to get ready to line up to the field, the choice of tyres, the tyre choice from our drivers tonight, all of the top 10 starting on the soft compound tyre with Ventino in P11 on the medium compound. Harley starting on the softs with Willu and Okeki on the mediums just behind him with Kavudi and Tech 31 Racing on the soft compound tyres. But as we approach the start of this Grand Prix, drivers desperately warming up their tyre. There seems to be quite a bit of a gap forming between all of our drivers at the back of the field, but hopefully they can make it in time and hopefully they can get soon so we can begin the Grand Prix. As we lost Kavudi as he's been disqualified from the session. We'll put him right to the grid as we wait for Tech 31 Racing to get there. And a characteristic from Formula 1 every year from Codemasters, we look that Tech 31 does not in fact have a helmet, but it will not impact his racing. I can assure you on that. Keys as well, his teammate approaching the grid as well. As we wait for the lights to come on and we wait for Tech 31 to get into his grid slot so we can begin round 6 of Spa-Francorchamps of the One Hub Racing podium tier. And there's a light starting to go up. And it's lights out and away we go now. Speed red mat takes an outside line to cover off Dax. Dax gets a very good start and slots in behind now. Lots of cars shuffling around, a few cars going wide as we could see, and a spinner from Willu in P16 has lost out though. Aston Martin now, but Dax right behind Speed Red Mat, and Speed Red Mat's gonna have nothing to defend with as Dax gets a huge tow, but can Dax send one up now? And he stays behind Speed Red Mat. Speed Red Mat ahead into turn 1. A crucial point of this Grand Prix now as he gets away. A few cars behind under pressure. Rich P3's got Apex Rogue behind him. Rogue has lost out to that as well. As we see a few cars battling and shuffling around in this first stage of the Grand Prix. On board with Kian as well, lost out, he's gone to P6, he's lost the position, but that can easily be made once again. He's got a good view, and we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that's Okeki, and it is in fact Okeki. As he's lost the rear, and all of our medium runners seeming to have no grip. P14, P15 and P16, the last 3 runners, as we got a yellow flag, and that's Vintino. He's lost his front wing, and that's going to be a trip to the pit. But no safety cars. He struggles to slow down the car. Keeps out of the way of Willow. But that's disappointment. Well, one of the AlphaTauri cars are leading the Grand Prix. The other one is at the bottom of the field. But Speed Redmat, unsurprisingly, sets the fastest lap as he is the first man across the line now. He's going to want to hope to pull away. He's at Dax spinning, nearly spinning that car. But he's managed to keep it going in the right direction. But now he's lost big time from Speed Redmat, and he's got Rogue right behind him now. What can Rogue do when Vintino has retired? I believe that might just be a retirement in the pits. I'm trying to confirm with you if that is or not, but Rogue just staying behind Dax. Getting a good slipstream though. But who else can make an overtake here? Lots of cars in the midfield. Kian, Keeves, Cam and Jordan and the 2 Alpines. But lots of stuff going on at the moment as we get another yellow flag, sector 2. Hopefully that doesn't disrupt any of the drivers as we speak. He's having a little wobble coming out of that corner. But this has played horrible for all our medium runners as we got a slow Mercedes. Looking like there's slow Mercedes coming out from there. But no changes of position though. He's really on the back of Kian now. Kian looking like he's struggling. He's just going to get a very good tow, but in fact, unfortunately, this is going to turn out to be a DRS train in around a lap. But he's just slowing behind. He's gaining. Ooh, and we've got a virtual safety car. That's Kavudi. Kavudi is out of the Grand Prix, and that's a virtual safety car. That's now transitioned into a full-on safety car. It's a mandatory 2-stopper here at one hub, so will we see people pit? Yes, Speed Redmat into the box. Dax, followed by Rogue, followed by Rich, Salty Bear, Kian, and pretty much the majority of the field except ERT Thomas. This could play out well for the people I've boxed, as this helps them in this 2-stopper race. But Thomas will be at a disadvantage in a way, because he will have to do an extra stop compared to the others that have all pitted. A lot of them switching to the medium compound tyre seems reasonable, as it can then go on to the softs towards the end. But ERT Thomas leads the Grand Prix from lap 3, but he hasn't pitted. Everyone else in the field has. Majority have gone for the mediums, a few have gone for the soft compound tyres, so there's going to be a real shift when we get this restart underway. But that safety car was caused by Kavudi. If you're joining us now, unfortunately we've lost 2 drivers from the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix. Vintino had retired in the pit lane, as we see Okeki gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I'm taking it as that was a track limit, as we get Tech 31 gets a penalty as well. But ERT Thomas has now got all the pressure to restart this race when we get back running. And Speed Redmat having to take evasive action there, nearly going into the back of Thomas. It's not something you want to do. As well, this will help a few of our drivers that have boxed with damage, and Tech 31 has got no front wing. So something must have happened under that safety car to get him a penalty and lose his front wing. It's a very long lap around. He's going to be struggling for a long period of time, and the question is, can he pit and get back to the field before the restart of the Spa Grand Prix? As he struggles to make his way. Also, Willow in the Aston Martin has gone for the soft compound tyres, but he will surely make it to the field. But your leader at the end of lap 3, ERT Thomas now, will he pit I would assume he would not, otherwise he would lose tons of places. But he does option to go into the pits. So how much will he lose from that pit stop? It could potentially be because he had his teammate in front of him, so they couldn't double stack. But he pits now. Where will he drop back? I would expect he'd drop back to P13. P13 with Tech Racing pitting, surely with that crucial front wing damage. As we've also got Cam into the box. What tyres will he go for? He options for the hards. So that is two pit stop, mandatory pit stop done and dusted. And Cam can go to the end of the race here, but it's going to be a struggle, especially on the hardest compound tyre and having to get through the field. So back once again, Speed Red Mat leads the Grand Prix. That's right behind him. But a few runners are to look out for, especially a Salty Bear. He will have to pit as well as the cars ahead, but he is on the soft compound tyre. So he will have insane amount of grip and warmer tyres when it comes to the safety car restart. These drivers rev their engines and keep their tyres warm, as it's crucial. Otherwise you do not want to be locking up into turn 1 and going wide. So your penalties for the Belgium Grand Prix as it stands: Okeki P10 with a 3-second time penalty, with Tech 31 as well. We've seen him have crucial damage, extreme damage to his front wing, and that's caused him, I believe, a 3-second penalty. So he must have gone off track limits and something like that to get that 3-second time penalty. For Tech 31 has rejoined to the back of the field. We should see the safety car come in this lap, and it's all the pressure on Speed Red Mat. He's won the previous Grand Prix. He's our hot driver for this race, and he's leading the Grand Prix. The question is, when does Speed Red Mat go? He does not want to be giving him a big tow going through Eau Rouge and Radion. But now it's the waiting game. When does Matt go? Crucially warming up the tyres as we speak. Speed Red Matt seems to have gone, and he has in fact gone now. Comes into the final 2 corners and he's caught Dax napping. So this could help Speed Red Mat, but Speed Red Mat isn't exactly clear of Dax, as it's the green flag and we're into racing conditions once again. Speed Red Mat leads from Dax to Rogue with Salty Bear. Kian making up a place on Rich with Keys, and Rich has lost down as we speak. So he's lost out to Keys, but is he going to send one? No, he's not. He's too far back. What about Dax and Speed Red Mat? Speed Red Mat pulling away, trying to break up that tow, and he seems to be clear for now. But Dax and Speed Red Mat just pulling away now. And a few dropping positions as we lost Okeki, and Tech 31's into the barriers. And Tech 31 is still driving, and there's a Ferrari of Okeki out as well. So that has caused major issues for Tech 31 and Okeki, as Okeki's out and Tech 31 goes wide. Can he keep it out? And he's out! And the car flips over, and that is it. And we should see a safety car, and it is in fact a safety car once again. But Tech 31 is out of the Grand Prix due to a collision which seems to be with Okeki as well. But Speed Red Mat once again has to lead this Grand Prix and have to do another safety car restart. But what he just did with that restart seemed to be very well, so he's going to aim to do the best he can to break up that tow from Dax going into Eau Rouge, Radion and through into turn 5. Question is now, who pits this race? Will we see any pit stops incoming? Speed Red Mat stays out. What about Dax? Dax stays out as we look to see the majority of the field looking like they're staying out. there's a shift in positions at the back, and that's because Thomas has boxed. The question is now, what tyre does he go? He's currently on new medium compound tyres that have only done one lap of racing, so he could go to the hard, he could go to another set of mediums, and he is pulling the mediums. And that should get him to the end. It won't be easy, but that will get him from here on to the end. He will have to do some tyre managing. As the conditions start to get a little bit worse, start to get quite cloudy, as it did predict on the weather forecast that clouds were incoming and potential rain. That's something you have to look out for. If you're joining us now, Speed Redmat leads the Grand Prix from the second safety car due to a collision with Okeki and Tech 31. But Dax right behind with Rogue in P3, Salty Bear P4 with Kian, Keys and Rich. Jordan P8 with NLR Harley and his similar name NLR Willow in P10. But 12 drivers remain as it stands. But there's still a very long race to go. It's a long lap. Question is now, as the conditions start to get a little bit cloudier, the question is if this rain is enough to throw your car off the track. When will they pit? When will the rain come? The rain was predicted to come 30 minutes after the beginning of the race. We haven't reached that point so far, but we've definitely not far off, as we had our second safety car period. But this has been a disaster for Tech 31 Racing. He's had a little bit of an incident last weekend at Singapore. He was hoping to get a good result. From our media week and interview, he did mention that he was disappointed with that, but unfortunately it's not gone his way, and he is out, and he will be P13, as at the moment he will not be getting any points, of course, not finishing outside the top 10. We see a change in position. I believe Rich has boxed. Rich has gone into the pit lane now. Which tyre is he going forward? So it's always a question whenever a driver comes into the pits, and he's got a new set of mediums ready for him now, and that will be some good pace for him towards the end of the Grand Prix, but he will have to manage the tyres a bit as Rich comes out of the pit lines. Tight pit lane, have to be easy with the rear tyres. He's out and will be catching the field very shortly. But if you're just joining us now, the championship standings, the driver championship standings as it stands so far, Speed Red Map would be getting 25 points from this P1, Dax P2, Rogue would be getting P3, P4 with Salty Bear, Kian P5, Keys P6 with Jordan, Harley, Willow and Cam P10 with ERT Thomas and Rich, the last two drivers. And in our current championship standings, Cam P1 with 68 points with Speed Red Map P2. This could be a very good race for Speed Red Map if he gets away well from Dax. P3 Kian with P4 Thomas, P5 Rich with Ventino and P6, P7 Dax with P8 Tech 31. However, he will be dropping the field after tonight's race, as he will not be taking part any longer. Kong Offner in P9 with Keys in P10, P11 Kavudi with Dynastics in P12 with Aero Specialist P13, Rogue P14 with KPP P15, Jordan, Okeki and A Salty Bear P16, 17 and 18, and the final two runners Harley and Willow. As we get the notification that the safety car is in this lap. Speed Red Mat is your leader and will lead the Grand Prix from when the safety car restart happens, as the safety car rushes back to the pits. Red Mat backing the field up, warming the tyres now. And it's a question of when does he go. Red Mat just has to be patient here. And it seems to me that he has gone, and he has. Of course, there's no racing until the green flag is waved, and that will be when he crosses the line now, but hits the apex. Tyres seem to be in the window now, and he gets away to restart our second safety car restart now, as we just saw a drop of rain. And we're seeing drops of rain fall as Speed Red Mat restarts this Belgium Grand Prix. And this is absolutely crucial, but if it rains, this is going to play into the hands of the soft runners, as they're going to have the most amount of grip up there. Of course, the DRS is not open after the third lap of racing from either the start of the race or the safety car restart. But Speed Red Mat seems to have it covered now. P1, but Dax not too far off. He's still within DRS range as it stands. Apex Rogue P13, P3, sorry, and Salty Bear P4. He's P5, Kian P6, Jordan P7 with Harley in P8, Willow in P9, Cam K P10, ERT Thomas, and Rich. No changes to the order from this safety car restart so far. But the question is, the rain is starting to fall, and if it rains enough and the track gets too wet, when are the drivers going to pit? As there's more rain falling now as they hit the sector 3 now. Dax looks a lot much closer as Speed Red Mat's lost it! He's lost the car! As he went wide and he's lost his front wing, and he's dropped down and he has lost his wing and he's going into the pits. Is that with the low amount of grip from this rain causing that? And if it is, what tyre is he going to go? He can't go to the inters. There's not enough standing water as Rich comes to the back of him. And this has turned from an absolute masterclass from him to a disaster. Was leading the Grand Prix and now suffers with no wing and has to change those set of tyres. The question is, will he go to inters? Will he take that risk? There's not enough standing water, and if the rain clears, it's just going to be even worse for him now. But Dax gets the lead of the Grand Prix. Apex Rogue not too far back, but there is a DRS train starting to happen. However, DRS is not enabled so far, as we see NLR Willow make a move through the Camel Straight now on the Red Bull of Harley, and he gets that position nice and easy for him. Little bit of a unbalance on the rear tyres, but he manages to cope fine now. But these soft compound runners are going to be at an advantage now, as we see side by side Apex Road and A Salty Bear. A Salty Bear on the fresher set of compound tyres. What happens? He stays behind, but he surely has a lot more confidence as Apex Road has a little snap and has to counter steer, and that releases Salty Bear into second place. And he is on the soft compound tyres, so he has the most amount of grip. The question is he going to catch Dax? When are they going to pit? They seem to be struggling as Rogue tries to keep the car going the right way round. Keith right on the back now. He's got Kian right behind him, and he's got Rogue side by side. We've seen contact with Okeki and Tech, the Alpha and the Ferrari contacting with each other, and the Apex Rogue gets sent off the track. And we see Kian start to get into this battle for the podium. But drivers, and it looks like A Salty Bear took a very wide line now, as DRS is enabled. Kian on the outside and gets squished completely by Rogue. No room left at all for Kian to send a move. But your biggest battle at the moment is for the final position in the podium. He's currently P3. He's got Salty Bear not so far inside. We got a sector 1, and that's Willow out of the Grand Prix. Is that going to be safety car? It is again the third safety car of tonight's race. We're on lap 10 out of 22, and we have got our third safety car now. But this is going to be the moment. If the rain is still falling, as you can see, the track is starting to get a little bit wetter. We got a spinner. Is that Rogue? It's Rogue. Rogue has spun, and the conditions getting worse. This could be the time to pit for intermediates. If the rain is getting heavier, which it is, this is the time to pit for the intermediate tyres. Now, it's got the Williams behind. Of course, you've got to stick to the Delta until they reach the safety car. The soft runners proving to have way more grip than the medium runners now. So Dax leads the Grand Prix. This is all on him now. Will he make that decision? His decision will impact other decisions from the other drivers now. If he pits for Inters, that's going to cause a chain of reactions throughout the field. But you can see there's starting to be a little bit of spray from the drivers. Could that mean that it's time for intermediate keys? Looks like he's about to make a move on Salty Bear. But of course, under safety car conditions, you cannot, otherwise you will receive a penalty. What is Dax going to do? He's on the medium compound tyres. If anything, he wants to be on the soft compound tyres, but he has decided to box now. I think it's everyone's intention to box, except Salty Bear stayed out, but he is on the soft compound tyres. Has everyone decided to pit, except for Salty Bear? I'd assume Cam is staying in. Oh, he's staying out. He's on the worst possible tyre, on the hard, and he's staying out. As he locks that tyre, you can see it's a very bold decision, but I'm not sure if it's the smartest one. As you can see, even under safety car conditions, the rear stepping out and the front locking into turn 1. Two other drivers, though, stay out as well. ERC Thomas and Rich, currently P3 and P4. The question is, if the rain is to get lighter, which the forecast does suggest, they could be in a very good position. However, as it seems right now, conditions don't seem to be getting better, they seem to get worse, and that's why the majority of the field has pitted for the intermediate tyres. But speaking of the majority of the field, Speed Redmat still extremely far behind, and no surprisingly he has pitted, and I would assume he goes to the intermediate tyres. But once again, if you're joining us now, this is the third safety car we've had in this Grand Prix. A Salty Bear leads at the moment just behind the safety car with Cam K, ERT Thomas and Rich. The four cars have decided not to pit in this safety car window with the rain coming in. However, he is on the fresh set. When I say fresh set, he's actually 7-lap old soft compound tyres. However, if he does box, he will be losing tons of positions as we speak. But we have reached halfway distance, lap 11 out of 22. All the drivers have done their mandatory two-tyre pit stop change. But all eyes are on the top 4. Do they pit? The forecast suggests that the rain will go soon. But if it doesn't, this can be a really tough situation as Salty Bear struggling on those soft compound tyres going onto the grass. But surprisingly, Cam K on the hard compound tyre decided to stay out. This is a very risky choice that he's taken there. The question is, will it pay off if this rain goes? Keep an eye out on these top 4 drivers. Cam has decided to stay out. Same for Salty Bear. Thomas stays out, but Rich decides to take that gamble to go onto the intermediate tyres. So Salty Bear leading, and we will have another lap under the safety car. Lap 12, as we are followed by the safety car. And Salty Bear desperately trying to warm those tyres up. It looks like he's struggling so much, even on this safety car. So this is a really tough decision. The rain is not necessarily getting it much heavier, but due to the safety car, there's more standing water, and the importance is the standing water. If there's too much of it, you have to box to the intermediate, otherwise you will be sliding off. There's so many corners, especially here at Belgium, at Spa-Francorchamps, where there's so many downhill and uphill corners that you could just lock the front inside tyre, especially this corner as we come down the follows the safety car very close to the safety car. There's some high revs, you can see the car sliding as he tries to put temperatures in the rear and completely almost goes off track. But another surprise, as Cam K has lost it on the hard compound tyre, the worst tyre to be on the hard, has lost it and he's dropped back to P10. And I assume Red Matt's going to get ahead. No, he's not. But Cam K is struggling. Does he have wing damage? Yes, he does. He's got missing end plate. So he's going to have to box. But the thing is, a safety car will most likely be coming in this lap as Cam K gets back ahead of Red Matt. But Red Matt will lead. Cam K completely goes off. This has turned into a disaster for him. The championship leader struggling on the worst compound tyres with wing damage. Can he even slow the car down? No, he can't. Into the gravel as we get the alert, the safety car is coming in this lap. But Cam K, this might be completely over for him. He's got to get to the pit lane. He's got to get a new wing. That's going to cost him at least 30 seconds. As we see Salty Bear, when does he go on the soft compound tyres? Taking a risky move as we see Kian as well has switched to the mediums. As another dry tyres, you could see Salty Bear completely sliding through the final corner. And the 5-second penalty between Thomas and Salty Bear. As Salty Bear tries to go into turn 1, but he's struggling like mad. Lots of drivers moving around in the grid. We got an Alpine looking like they're getting all squirmish now. And we've got Keys. Is he going to send one into Radion? No, he's not, but he's right behind, and you can see Salty Bear struggling as you've got a Red Bull of Harley, and this is absolute madness now. Car's going potentially 3 wide, and the Red Bull seems to back off. What about Rogue? Does Rogue give him enough space? He sort of does. Rogue goes off, but of course there's cars everywhere as it is to restart now. But gosh, and there's a car spinning up, and that's Salty Bear. Salty Bear is out of the track. He's off the track. And unsurprisingly, being on the dry tyres in these wet conditions proved to be impossible. We've seen him struggle during the safety car laps, but that seems to be like a wing change, as he does have some damage, and he will be probably boxing to the intermediate tyres now. Back to the racing now. Big group of cars battling for second place. Harley and Jordan fighting it off with the Ferrari and Rogue. We've got Rogue with Dax right behind. What can he do now? He can't send one now. Not enough grip and downforce to take it to the inside. But he's got a great toe from Harley. He's going to send one though. He's just a little bit too cautious, and he should be in these wet conditions now. But is he going to send one down? He's going to send one. Can they give each other enough space? Yes, they can now. Harley on the inside now, but it goes very wide and pushes Rogue off the track into the final corner. Where can Rogue go? Nowhere. Has to back off, and that allows Dax to take P3. But Harley's going to send one down as a nearly touch. And Rogue losing out time as they both collide. Wheel-to-wheel action, but Harley gets great traction now as he gets ahead of Dax through Radion and Eau Rouge, but cuts the corner, as you can see there. It gets a 3-second time penalty, but now he's got Dax with that toe now alongside him. What about Rogue? Rogue watching in on this battle. And what's going to happen between the two drivers now? Dax stays ahead of Harley with Apex Rogue behind. Harley just going a little bit wide, a bit on the curves there, but manages to do just fine. Dax ahead of Harley and Apex Rogue, but he's not out of the woods as well. He's got Jordan not so far behind, just within DRS range, but of course DRS is disabled as we are in wet conditions now. Can Jordan put the pressure on the current race leader? He's just within the second, but Jordan seems to have a lot more pace, seems to hit the apex a lot more. Of course, in the rain, there's multiple different lines you can take, but Jordan really closing in. That delta dropping on the straight with that toe. The toe isn't as powerful as it is in the dry, but Keys will stay ahead easily into the final chicane. As we go now, there's a battle between P4, P5, P6. Speed Red Mat has come back into this race, and DRS is enabled. So we do have DRS, and we see 2 pit stops from Salty Bear. During that action, we've missed that Salty Bear and Cam K have pitted for dry tyres, and it looks like it stopped raining, but we can see clear drops. The track does seem to get drier as it stands so far. So will these intermediate tyres start to fade out as Jordan really closing in? Was a tenth 1 lap ago. It's now 5 tenths. It really is closing in now. He won't be close enough to send one through here, but does have barracks more pace than Keys. What can Keys do? But it looks like the rain has stopped, and as you can see, there's no more droplets. The rain has stopped, and what's this going to do for Salty Bear and Cam K? This has been a masterclass from them to pit onto the mediums 1 lap ago, because now, as the track dries, they're going to get more pace and potentially jump up the field as these intermediate runners box. But there are some sectors of the track that are having rain. As you can see now, as we come into sector 2, there is a bit of rain. Of course, that's a bit of the spray coming back from the car ahead, which is Keith. Keith looking to stay ahead, as Jordan really having a good amount of pace here. The question is, can Jordan overtake? It says that DRS is enabled. The thing is, it is raining in some sectors, but it isn't in some. In sector 1 it doesn't seem to be raining, but in sector 2 and 3 it does. So the question is, will Jordan get a DRS when he comes out of Radion? As Keys box and Jordan boxes, this is the time for the medium. So this is the time for the dry tyres, as everyone on the intermediate decides to pit, including Rich. Where does Thomas come out? Where do these bottom 4 drivers on the dry tyres? And you can see the line starting to form, and you can see the amount of pace these dry tyres are giving the drivers. Where does Thomas go? He's jumping a lot of positions. He's going to come alongside a few of the pit stops, but Jordan still keeps the lead. Thomas right behind, but right behind Dax. He's got Kian behind him on much newer sets of medium compound tyres. But what does Dax have now? To Jordan, the DRS flap wide open. As we speak, he's closing in, but it's a crash. Harley and Red Mat are out. Is that going to be a safety car? It is, as Dax makes the move. This is the perfect time for Dax to make that move as the safety car comes out. But we've lost Red Mat. Speed Red Mat and Harley are out. Your previous race winner and pole sitter for tonight is out of the Grand Prix, and I'd have to assume there was a collision between him and Harley as they both DNF at the same time. And this is our 4th safety car of tonight's race. If you're joining us now, we've lost 17 drivers. We've lost Harley and Red Mat just a few moments ago. We've lost Willow, we've lost Tech 31 Racing, Okeki, Kavuli, and Ventino. And your current order for the running cars is Dax from Jordan and Thomas. 2 Alpine cars in the podium positions at the moment. Looking good for them. Kian in P4 with Keith in P5. Apex Rogue P6 with Rich P7. A Salty Bear P8 and Cam K in P9. This has really changed the order of the field now, and Dax needs to get a good amount of time from the two Alpines. But Dax did seem to have good pace in the dry conditions at the start of the Grand Prix, as we see Thomas goes into the pits now, surely going for the soft compound tyres. But they are 10 laps old, his current medium. And we see the soft compound tyre go on, but of course he's got that 5-second pit stop, that 5-second penalty to serve, which he serves now, and he gets released. It's honestly a better option to get that 5 seconds removed, unless it was not your fault. It's better to remove it now and just focus on the race from here, as he comes out in P8 with Kamke as well, boxing to soft compound tyres, as he will be the last of the running cars. So welcome back. If you're joining us now, it is the late stages of the Grand Prix. It's lap 17. We've got our 4th safety car of the Grand Prix, and hopefully our last, as we have a mini sprint to the end. But your current leader is Dax from Kian, with Jordan, Keeves, Apex Rogue, Rich in P6 with Salty Bear, Thomas and Cam K. And we have lost 7 drivers. That has been Harley and Speed Redmat, who has just caused this 4th safety car, with Willow, Tech 31 Racing, Okeki, Kavudi and Vinci. So we are going to go for another lap under safety car conditions. But the track is dry now. However, the clouds have not gone, so there's always chance of rain, as we see someone dive into the pits. Who is that? And that is Kian, unsurprisingly, on the medium compound tyres compared to everyone else on the soft compound tyres. What will Salty Bear do? As he's on the lead, he decides to stay out. So he would be at a disadvantage at this point of the Grand Prix, but towards the end, his medium compound tyres will start to come back into play. Kian will drop back to the field in P9. Apologies for the slight glitch. We will probably have one lap under the safety car, and we should get 5 laps, 4 laps. Now it is a sprint to the end of the Grand Prix. Everyone has decided to put fresh new soft compound tyres, except Salty Bear decide to stay out on the medium compound tyres. The question is, how will he cope towards the 5 laps? So all of your drivers have no penalties now, so real pressure. Just have to be on alert and cannot afford to take a track limit warning. All bunched up so closely now. We get the notification that the safety car is in this lap now. Indeed we do. Safety car confirmed in this lap. So Dax now will start this Grand Prix for probably the last safety car of tonight's podium tier race. He is moving like mad. The temperature here has dropped due to all that rain. The temperature is a tricky thing to get back. A Salty Bear as well will be one to be struggling on the medium comfort tyres to get them warmed up. But Jordan on the back of Dax. When will Dax go? He's gonna have to catch Jordan napping here. He's still not gone. The key thing for Dax is to not give Jordan a tow for Rouge and Radio. Demonstrate. And Dax has gone now. And he starts lap 19 and potentially on the last safety car. Dax into turn 1 from Jordan, Keys, Rowe, Rich, Salty Bear, Thomas, Kamke and Kian. And Dax has managed to pull an intense gap going through Rouge and Radion. That will certainly help to reduce that tow to him and Jordan. We're running on board with him. You can see Jordan starting to pull back a little bit, so not necessarily helping that much. As we look to the field as well, lots of drivers nearby. Rich nearly takes himself out as he makes contact with Salty Bear. He's managed to keep it going, but that's dropped him to the back of the field, and that was contact with, in fact, Salty Bear. But two drivers seem to have very little damage as he goes very wide. Picks up a 3-second penalty, and that's the crucial part of the last safety car. The field is all bunched up together, and the penalty will cost him a lot of position. So near track battle right now for Thomas and Salty Bear. P5 and P6. So there is a DRS train as well forming P5 all the way to 8. Yeah, too far back. Got Cam in the wing there. We watch on board with DRT Thomas. Closest battle at the moment. Sends one down, very late braking. Goes wide, and Kian gets ahead. Can they leave each other enough room? Yes, they can. But Kian gets released, and Cam is right on the back here. Will send one down into the inside. Looks to have one with Thomas really struggling on the brake here. Brake bias not turning out to be well for him, but Cam right on the back of Thomas now. We go through our Rouge and Radio. Very good show here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them alongside each other from the Camel's brake. And they are alongside Cam. Cam stays back. Brakes a little bit earlier than Thomas. But Thomas keeps this P7. What else is on track action going on here? Jordan just dropping back a little bit. The gap has dropped to 1.4 seconds. Not too far off. Of course, the RS should be enabled within the next 2 laps. So Rich gets a 3-second penalty. He's at the back of the field. Very wide there. Really good pick there, but another foul still going on. Cam versus DRT Thomas. Cam, your current championship leader, could be changing at the end of the next race, depending on where they finish, is fighting for P7. He's really trying to get as close as he possibly can to that sector 2. The end of the sector 2 really cost him for the 30th. Not managing to make the move happen yet, but he is closing in. Who else is battling on track right now? So they're doing a good job on those slower medium tyres. Young gets some better traction, better exit, but not enough. But will Salty Bear let him through, because there will be DRS, because DRS is now enabled coming out of Radio. And Salty Bear is behind. But that is Salty Bear, DRS, as he is within that 1 second gap now. What's happening with DRT Thomas and Cam? Cam jumped off a little bit now, so the closest battle currently is with Salty Bear and Kian. Salty Bear goes to the outside, Kian on the inside, and that is a done and dusted move from Salty Bear, and it's proving these mediums to be working very well indeed, as we are on the long lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Your closing battle now is for second place between Keith and Jordan. Alfa Romeo versus the Alpine. He's having to go a little bit off with Jordan, but exceptional toe from that Alfa Romeo. As we see Dax just pulling away the 2.4 second gap. But this is going to be a long-lasting battle, as they will have one more lap with DRS enabled. Jordan's got one chance next lap. He's actually got multiple chances next lap to take this second place. Of course, there's so many drivers fighting for positions. Of course, Cam K still not managing to close enough to ERT Thomas, as he is closing into the car ahead, who is Kian, the McLaren. We could see a 3 wide coming out of Radion on the Camel straight now, but Cam getting an exceptional exit now. He's going to make an overtake happen. He has to take evasive action, getting squished into turn 1, backs off, and that's affected his exit, but not too much, because he does have that toe, and he will get that slipstream of the DRS. But can Thomas hold on to Cam for one more lap, as we see Jordan and Keith makes a move on the inside. This is going to be close, but Jordan has to let Keith go. He's still got more chances. What about Kian and Thomas? Thomas still ahead of Cam, and Kian ahead of Thomas now. Both Alpines looking very feisty in this last lap of the Grand Prix. Thomas still very close to Kian. This is not over until the flag is waved now, but he goes to go on the outside. But Kian hugs the inside now, but Thomas will get that inside line. But they almost collide with each other, but take evasive action. But he's got another straight to go, but his teammate Jordan right on the back of Keys, and we see a position change of Thomas and Cam. Something must have happened to Thomas as we speak, but Jordan's last attempt is coming up, but he seems to be a bit too far back, and he is, as Dax has been fighting all race long with Dax, with Speed Red Matt. He wins the Belgium Grand Prix with Keys in P2, Jordan in P3 with Apex Rogue P4, Kian and Cam P6, P5 and P6. An exceptional way for Dax, an exceptional race for him as he finishes P1. And the driver of the day, ERT Jordan, unsurprisingly pulled a masterclass as well to come through the field. It was a tough start for Alpine, but they have made some good progress in that race. You see Dax sprays the champagne. He is your round 6 Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix winner. And congratulations to all the podium finishers. So, after a dramatic end to that Belgium Grand Prix with 4 safety cars, our grid is done and dusted. We've got Dax P1 with Keith in P2. Alpine of ERT Jordan P4 with the Ferrari Rogue in P4. Kian P5 with Cam P6. ERT Thomas P7. Salty Bear P8 with Rich in P9. And then finally NRL Harley in P10. However, he did not finish the race. And as well, Speed Red Map, your last week's race winner. Fortunately, P11 is the best result for him as he DNF'd due to contact with Harley. P12 is Willu with P13 Tech 31 Racing. P14 is OK Key. And P15 Kavudi with Latino P16. And that is your Belgium Grand Prix. Congratulations to all our drivers. So that was a very, very thrilling race. We hope you enjoyed it here. And my driver of the day, although it was the game's driver of the day, had to be Jordan. Jordan pulled an amazing race. My question to Jordan is, can we see these amazing comebacks happen even more? Can we see you get more podiums? Because with that pace coming back from the grid, with that pace to pull off a podium really shows that he can win races. So that's my question to ERT Jordan. But congratulations and thank you very, very much for watching the podium tier of One Hub Racing, sponsored by Next Level Racing and Free Sim Racing, and in partnership with ERT and the Premium Race Drivers. Thank you very much. I'm Carrera, and I hope to be seeing you very soon. Thank you, and good night.